What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you guys your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. They are linked as always in the description to this video, so go ahead and check them out there. Another big shout out to all the help that they give us in making these videos possible. So we got a Texas risk for you today. You guys read that right. There is a risk for severe weather in West Texas through the Panhandle and another through the Central Plains. So we're going to get into all of that. And then for tomorrow's weather, more through the Central Plains and the Front Range potential. So looking into all of that. And then finally, we got a new tropical depression that has formed and Denver's 5cast coming up towards the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. But before all of our weather, we got our upcoming events. We do have another OU football tailgate coming up in the next couple of weeks here for the next home game. And then in the meantime, we're going to be at the RCAT MRCA Roofing Conference at the Fort Worth Convention Center from September 27th through the 29th. So if you guys are out in that area at that time, or if you just want a reason to come say hello to the Hail Trace gang, come out there and say hi to us there. Then yesterday, another day of scattered reports, but we got some nonetheless. So starting out down in the desert southwest, we got a little bit of gusty winds here and there, but most noteworthy was probably the landspout and gustnadoes that formed in the north and eastern part of Arizona, and then a couple of hail reports here and there. Then on up into the north and east, all the way from Albany into just to the west of Boston, we got some gusty wind reports. A couple of those were severe, so we got some interesting weather out there through the northeast as well, but again, most of the nation stayed pretty clear. So I want to talk about what the upcoming system is going to be looking like into the later part of this week and this weekend. Right now, we just saw this low pressure system track off the New England coast, and then we've got the second one that's moving in off of the Pacific Northwest. Now ahead of this, we're going to get a cold front, and then that's going to stir up that severe weather as it tends to do, but it's looking pretty weak right now. It's not super of a sharp gradient between that cold and that warm, so we don't have a ton of forcing that gets us that widespread severe weather for today. Tomorrow it's going to look pretty similar. You don't see a super sharp gradient between these bright reds and these bright greens, so again, that just means weak forcing for storms, but forcing nonetheless, so we could get scattered storms today and tomorrow from this low pressure system. Now as it continues to track off to the east, we're going to see that low kind of pick up, moving through now Oregon, Washington for the main part of it, and then out ahead of it here through South Dakota and Nebraska, we could see another severe weather risk moving into Friday ahead of that front. Now it's going to continue off to the east through the weekend, looking like a pretty intense slant from southwest to northeast here with that frontal system. And again, that's just another sign of, unfortunately, weak forcing, but we start to see it kind of swing the other way, see a tighter gradient forming, and we start to see that trough go more from north to south by Sunday. So it's possible that into early next week, we could see a more organized storm system moving in from the Pacific Northwest. For now, looking like we're going to be, again, very scattered for severe weather, but we got some for you nonetheless. Starting out in the Central Plains, we're seeing that cloud cover ahead of that weak low pressure system, and with that, we'll start to see some storms picking up later this afternoon and evening. So we got that to talk to you guys about. But for the rest of us, didn't save there, but for the rest of us, we're going to be in the mid-80s for the South and Central Plains, so it's going to be really pleasant for most of us across the country. Once again, those fall conditions are really kicking in. So here's what our future radar is going to look like through the region for South Dakota, Nebraska. Not too much by 5 p.m., only a couple of scattered cells there moving through the western part of Nebraska, and then a couple more through Cheyenne and the Fort Collins part of Colorado, but not a ton of severe potential with those. We'll see things starting to pick up by around around 9:30, a little bit more coverage from South Dakota into western Nebraska with those storms. And as they continue to move up to the north and the east, we'll see them pretty much maintain the amount of intensity and coverage they have into the early morning hours, and then they'll start to fizzle out. Then for the southern plains, this is where things could be a little bit more interesting for today. We have some storms developing through the eastern part of New Mexico here and West Texas here, just to the southwest of Lubbock by 3 p.m. Central Time. Now as those move up to the north and east again, we're going to see them making a run at Lubbock by around 6 p.m. and more coverage increasing through that area. Amarillo could also see a couple of very scattered storms here and there. But then this band is going to really be trying to make a run at Lubbock. If it can stick that intensity out as it tracks into the area, we could get some gusty winds, but y'all saw that storm mode. When it looks kind of like this, that's more of a wind threat and less of a hail threat. So we're really watching for wind today. No severe hail expected for you guys. Could get a stone or two that's just below severe limits, but again, we just don't have that forcing and we don't really have the energy we need for severe hail. But we do have those strong upper level winds with that low pressure system tracking through. And with any of those storms that pass through, we could get some gusts with that. So low end chance across the board to see damaging wind gusts. It's going to be pretty scattered, but we could see some north of 50 tracking through the area. So Aberdeen, Pierre, all the way down into the south and, or I guess just the west part of Nebraska here could see some gusty winds upward of 60 miles an hour. Same for you guys down all the way through the Oklahoma Panhandle, all the way down into Lubbock. Got a chance of seeing some gusty winds with those thunderstorms tracking through. So want to be on the lookout for that. Now you can really see the storm intensity based on lightning intensity here, and so I want to take a look at that with you guys for today. You don't see a ton of lightning flashes predicted by 4 p.m. today. You got a couple through the South Dakota and Nebraska corridor, but for most of us, it's just going to be 1 or 2 here and there, a couple rumbles of thunder. So not looking like crazy intense thunderstorms tracking through today. But we do have some better coverage by tomorrow at 5 p.m. where we'll have a risk area out for you guys. So we could see a little bit more coverage of severe storms into tomorrow, and then that system's going to move off to the east. So here's what we look like into tomorrow. There's those lightning producing storms starting to develop by around 6 p.m. all the way from Nebraska down into the far eastern part of Colorado once again. If you guys are in Denver, I know people have been asking, it's not your day tomorrow. It's just not going to form far enough west to get that severity. And even if it did, looking like mostly a wind threat once again. But we're going to see those storms continue to roll off to the east and get more of a severe threat with those storms by around 8 p.m. A lot more coverage than we're seeing today, all the way from pretty much Valentine, Nebraska, down into Dodge City. Could see some severe gusts happening. And then that's going to continue off to the east, trying to get through Wichita by Friday morning. We'll see if it can make it by that time. So again, no hail forecast. I wish I had better news for you guys who are rooting for hail out there, but nothing on the forecast for you guys for tomorrow. But we do have wind, so, anywhere from Nebraska down into the Panhandle once again could see some damaging wind gusts with those storms. And again, it's going to be higher coverage of those storms, so a little more likely to see them anywhere through that area. So Amarillo, Colby, Dodge City, North Platte, even into Sioux Falls could see a couple of wind gusts here and there with those thunderstorms that are going to form tomorrow evening through tomorrow night, tracking eastward. So just be on the lookout for that. Then leaving you guys with Denver 5cast, left you on a cliffhanger there for our Facebook stories, but here it is, 79 degrees as the high today with a 50% chance of showers. A lot of those are going to stay below the severe limits, but some thunderstorms nonetheless. Staying in the mid-60s for tomorrow with those same storm chances with that system that's moving through. And then you should clear out into the weekend, stay in the low to upper 80s by the time we get into Sunday. And again, those severe chances should taper off. But we got that second low pressure system that's going to track through, so we'll see what that can do into early next week. Then leaving you guys as usual with the tropics. So if you haven't heard, Tropical Depression 7 has formed. This is that storm that we were watching out towards the Leeward Islands that is tracking off to the west. You can see it getting itself organized a little better here today. This is our satellite loop that's been forming from last night into this morning. You got a little bit of rotation on that, starting to collect itself a little bit better. It's not that broad area of thunderstorms, starting to look a little bit more organized. So as that happens, we're expecting it to stay organized into the next couple of days. So right now, it is just Tropical Depression 7, not Tropical Storm yet, but they are expecting it to cross those tropical storm thresholds shortly here. So by Thursday morning, should be a tropical storm. This would be our F storm, tracking off to the west, and then Friday by 8 a.m., well, I guess that's, Atlantic time, but Friday morning, tracking towards the Leeward Islands, should move right over them. And then San Juan, making a run at that by Saturday morning. Fortunately, it's looking like it's going to stay very low end. So if you guys are in Haiti, Dominican Republic, San Juan, It's looking like it's going to be a low-end storm tracking over you. However, a storm nonetheless. 35-mile-an-hour winds expected Monday morning as it transitions into just a tropical low pressure system tracking over, again, Haiti and Dominican Republic. So if you guys are out in the Caribbean, it is something to watch. We're watching it with you guys, and we'll keep you updated on everything that goes on. But we do have another tropical storm on the horizon here. So if you guys want to follow us, you can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video. And go ahead and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us everywhere, guys. And then if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can also email us if you'd rather at info@hailtrace.com, or check out hailtrace.com for more details, and we'll keep you updated and advised as always. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.